It's the best news I've ever heard.
The gospel informs everything I do.
Without this, my life has no meaning.
It's what turned my life around.
It helped me see the world in a whole new way.
It taught me how to love.
When I think about how great it is, I just want everyone to know about it.
That's the thing about good news.
You want to share it.
Jesus died and rose.
For me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
For me and for you.
This is the message of the Catholic Church.
To keep this message hidden would be a great tragedy.
St. Paul says, "Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel."
It's a command of Jesus.
Christ is calling you.
Are you listening?
Evangelization doesn't start in some jungle in Africa. It doesn't start with large crowds. It doesn't depend on your level of education, wealth, talent, or eloquence in speech. It doesn't depend on the number of people you know. It's not about numbers at all. If you want to bring Jesus to others, there's only one thing that is necessary. Evangelization starts right here.
What does a message from God look like? Is it writing in the sky, a large earthquake, or a clash of lightning? Does God only speak through extraordinary visions or loud voices? Are messages from God only for the mystics who have sealed themselves off from the world? Is communication with God the privilege of an elite few? Men and women today need a message from God. A message from God can change everything. You just need to know where to look.
Where do we find the strength and support to live out our love of God? When we gather as a community to pray at Mass, we are most united and strengthened to love of God and love of neighbor. Yet this support is not just for Sunday mornings. The Catholic life is a life to be lived in community. Together we can grow, learn, and thrive in our faith. Together we can love each other and serve those in need. This is both our home and our witness to the world. You will know we are Christ's disciples by our love.
The gospel requires a response. The first words of Jesus to his disciples were, "Come, follow me." But his last words to his disciples were, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to observe all that I've commanded you." So he is calling each and every one of us. If we don't respond, who will? Jesus is calling us to put out into the deep without fear or trepidation. He will give the grace. Pope Benedict XVI has reminded us that the Church exists to evangelize.
Coming to know Jesus was the best thing that ever happened to me.
There's no other way to put it. I'm in love.
In him, my life has meaning.
He's my best friend.
His word is life.
I want everyone to know him.
Our world needs God.
The harvest is abundant.
The laborers are few.
For too long, individual Catholics have stood on the sidelines.
It's time to realize that proclaiming the gospel is not an obligation imposed on an elite few.
It is a great privilege given to all believers.
Our world needs to hear the good news proclaimed anew.
It needs a new evangelization.
Christ is calling you.
Are you listening?